Hackers don't need Hollywood exploits to get in. Most of the time they just walk right in because Windows Firewall is running on autopilot. This is Safety Detectives, the channel where we make online security easy to understand and actually useful. And today we're looking at the firewalls that really lock things down, plus a free tool that makes Windows' own firewall way smarter. But before we jump in, be sure to tap like and subscribe because it costs you nothing, but it does help us keep breaking down cybersecurity in plain English. So Windows 11 has a firewall that's built in, and honestly, for most people, it's fine. It blocks random strangers from barging in, and that's the most important job. But here's where it gets tricky. By default, it only blocks incoming traffic. Outgoing traffic, including all those apps phoning home, sending data, or trying to sneak stuff out, well, that's allowed by default. Unless you go in and manually create outbound rules, Windows just lets it slide. Now, you can flip Windows to block everything outbound by default, but be warned that you'd be suddenly cutting the internet cable off for half of your apps. You'll spend hours whitelisting the ones that you actually need, like browsers or Zoom. It is powerful, but as far as practicality is concerned, it's not for most people. And that's exactly why many people reach for smarter firewalls. They give you more visibility and automation by blocking shady behavior without breaking your daily workflow. So this is where the big names come in. The best firewalls usually aren't sold on their own anymore. Instead, they're bundled inside of full antivirus suites. And that's actually a good thing because you get smarter network protection along with all the extras like malware scanning, web protection, and even VPNs that are designed to not collide with each other. So let's start with the one that I recommend most often, Norton 360. The all-rounder, Norton has been one of the biggest names in security for decades, and its 360 suite is still one of the most complete packages available for Windows. It bundles antivirus, a VPN, identity theft protection, and of course, a firewall. And that firewall, the smart firewall, is where it really stands out. Instead of letting apps quietly talk to the internet, it flags them and lets you decide whether to block, allow, or set your own custom rules. You can keep it simple or fine-tune those traffic rules if you're the kind of person who likes tweaking settings. Because it's part of a larger suite, you also get phishing protection and dark web monitoring, so basically one install that covers most of your security gaps. The trade-off is that it isn't the lightest app around, and if you only want a firewall, it's definitely more than you'll probably need. But for most people who want that set it and forget it security with serious network controls, Norton is still a top pick. Next is Bitdefender, the customizer's choice. Bitdefender is another heavyweight in the security world. Its total security suite is packed with features, but the real highlight is its firewall. Unlike Windows' all outbound allowed setup, Bitdefender gives you 3 clear modes: automatic, allow, or block. That means you can let it decide for you or step in and control exactly what an app is allowed to do. Extras include stealth mode to make your device invisible and port scan protection to stop probing attacks. There's also an alert mode that asks about every connection attempt, which is great if you like to micromanage. It works well out of the box, but advanced users will truly appreciate how much customization Bitdefender gives them. Now, the downside, the included VPN is capped at just 200 megabytes per day unless you pay for premium. And if you just want something light, then Bitdefender can again feel like overkill. But if you want control, visibility, and options to tweak, then Bitdefender's firewall is one of the most flexible on Windows. By the way, if you're curious how antivirus stacks up beyond just firewalls, then we actually covered it in this video, and it'll help you line up the right combo of tools for you. Next is McAfee, the plug-and-play pick. McAfee has come a long way from its old bloatware days. Today, its suite is clean, fast, and one of the easiest to use out there, and unlike some competitors, it plays nicely with Windows' own firewall. In fact, it actually requires Windows Firewall to stay on, layering its own rules on top for extra protection. The best part is you don't really need to touch it. Out of the box, it blocks shady inbound connections and sneaky apps without flooding you with different alerts. So you'll only see a pop-up if something is truly suspicious. And that simplicity makes it perfect for beginners or anyone who doesn't want to mess with complicated settings. Add unlimited device coverage on some plans, solid malware protection, and extras like identity theft monitoring and a password manager, and you've got a strong all-in-one package. The trade-off is that you don't get the same level of customization as Norton or Bitdefender. If you want to manually tweak app rules or create traffic filters, then you'll feel a little limited here. But if you just want to install it and forget it, then McAfee is the most hassle-free choice. Next is Panda, the Windows specialist. Panda isn't as big a name, but its firewall is built specifically for Windows, so it feels light and integrates smoothly. The firewall automatically adjusts depending on the network, so tighter rules on public Wi-Fi and looser ones at home, and you can control which apps can get online. Advanced users can dig into intrusion detection and filtering, but most people can just leave the defaults. But Panda's big appeal is the price and simplicity. The entry-level Dome plan includes antivirus, the firewall, and a small daily VPN allowance. But the catch is that the VPN is capped at 150 megabytes unless you upgrade, and malware detection isn't quite at Norton or Bitdefender's level. For Windows users who want a budget-friendly, no-fuss firewall with enough control to stay safe, Panda is a good fit. Now, there's also some great free and standalone firewalls that give you more control than Windows does out of the box. Take Comodo Firewall, for example. It's strict by default, so anything it doesn't recognize gets blocked. The upside is you get serious control, plus a sandbox to safety test sketchy apps. The downside though, expect a lot of pop-ups until you've trained it. Then there's ZoneAlarm. It's been around forever, and it's still a solid choice. Think of it as a classic firewall experience. Simple, reliable, and not too heavy. But if you're more of a show me what's happening type, then GlassWire is fun. It gives you real-time traffic graphs and lets you block apps with a single click. It's not a full firewall on its own, it's more of a visual upgrade for Windows Firewall. And for something lighter, try TinyWall. This one has no pop-ups or unwanted noise, just a neat way to lock down outbound traffic using Windows Firewall underneath. So if you're on a budget or you just like tinkering, then these tools give you more control without costing you anything. Also, if you're more into locking down your browser than your whole system, then we've also got a video that is definitely worth a watch if you don't want ads and trackers leaking your data. Okay, a couple quick notes before you decide which firewall is right for you. First of all, don't try stacking multiple firewalls. They'll end up fighting each other and just break stuff. The one exception, I guess, is McAfee, which actually uses Windows Firewall under the hood, so those two do play nice together. Also, firewalls won't make your internet feel slower in normal use. If you're noticing lag, then it's usually your connection, not the firewall. And remember, firewalls aren't a silver bullet against all types of malware. They stop shady traffic from getting in or sneaking out, but if you download something nasty yourself, then only an antivirus will save you. Long story short, don't treat the firewall as an accessory. It's the layer that keeps your system from being wide open. The question is just which style fits you best, an all-in-one suite or a lightweight add-on. All right, but let's bring this video home. Windows Firewall is a decent baseline. It keeps strangers from barging in, but it doesn't really stop apps from phoning home. So if you want more control, then that's where the tools that we covered in today's video step in. Norton 360 is the best all-rounder, the one that covers almost everything in a single install. Bitdefender is the choice for people who love to customize and tweak every setting. McAfee is the simplest option if you just want something that works out of the box. Panda gives you a budget-friendly firewall that's tuned specifically for Windows, but if you'd rather not pay at all, then Comodo, ZoneAlarm, GlassWire, and TinyWall are all great ways to boost Windows Firewall without pulling out your wallet. The real takeaway here is don't leave your firewall on autopilot. Whether you choose a full suite or a lightweight add-on, make sure that you lock down both what's coming in and what's sneaking out. And if you want to stick with Windows' own firewall but set it up the right way, then check out our full video on how to configure it properly that I'll link to here. And of course, if you found this video to be helpful, be sure to hit that subscribe button because we break down security tools so you don't have to. But as always, thanks so much for watching and stay safe out there.